double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom also to the one-third Israelites, which include Judah's children, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Indians, who are still oppressed together, according to the book of Jeremiah 50 and 33, but to whom Soleil pertained the adoption, the giving of the law, the promises, the glowing, the covenants, also the blood descendants, according to the book of Romans chapter 9, just in case you don't read. Andrei Martyanov, Russia and Iran maintain strong military weapons technology advantage over the US and Israel. Andrei Martyanov, an expert on Russian military and naval issues, told Mike Adams during a recent episode of the Health Ranger Report that Russia and Iran have better military weapons systems than Israel and the United States. Martyanov, who served as an officer on the ships in a staff position of the Soviet Coast Guard to the 1990s, highlighted how the West grossly miscalculated its military strength in Ukraine as compared to the technical capabilities of the Russian military. He agreed with Adams, and the West committed the same mistake in the US proxy war in Gaza. They did miscalculate in terms of the efficiency of the Hamas missile or rocket strikes, if you wish. They overestimated their capability. The Baku-born author said. Adams said, based on his talks with former high-level military operatives, Defense Intelligence Agency contacts, US military and special forces, Washington is now desperately trying to engineer a situation where it can justify bombing Iran and ensnare Russia into a two-front war at the same time. The Brighteon.com founder thinks it's hilarious because America can't afford a two-front war. Meanwhile, Martyanov said that when one talks to most US military professionals about war, their imagination and experiences do not extend beyond two things. It is either a high-intensity police action, bombing something with the standoff weapons, or using the US Air Force, he said. For him, the US cannot fight Iran on the ground. Moreover, Iran has an astonishing number of good and very advanced ballistic missiles with ranges of up to 2,500 kilometers. No American system can intercept modern missiles such as those of Iran's, Martyanov remarked. The Health Ranger agreed, citing the US's current deployment of thermal high-altitude area defense THAAD, This American anti-ballistic missile defense system is designed to shoot down short, medium, and intermediate range ballistic missiles in their terminal phase, descent or re-entry, by intercepting with a hit-to-kill approach. I don't have any specific technical success weights on this, but given all the propaganda surrounding the Patriot missile battery system that mostly failed, I tend to think that the systems are also mostly going to fail, Adams said. I also think that a lot of these systems are engineered by Americans who can't do math. I'm sorry to say this, but our culture has become so lazy and apathetic in academia that they just can't do math. But that's just my opinion as an American. Hezbollah is the most formidable of Iran's allies in its exercise of resistance. It has engaged in increasingly heavy exchanges of cross-border fire with Israel since early October. The group has 100,000 fighters and its military strength is underpinned by a vast arsenal of rockets, more than 100,000 as of the last count, enough to hit all areas of Israel. Many of the rockets are unguided but have precision anti-tank, anti-aircraft and anti-ship missiles. Also, Hezbollah's drones are mostly used for reconnaissance, although they can carry a small ordnance payload. These drones, which can be produced cheaply and in large quantities, could drain Israel's Iron Dome air defense system. This is really interesting. We don't know the exact ongoing over there, because the media is lying. That's Esau's word, Esau's blessing. But we know that it's prophecy, which is basically our blessing to see things before they happen. So it was already prophesied that over there in the East, you know, there will be this last war, man. This Armageddon, okay, also called. Okay. America's F-35 is no match for Russia's R-37. Elsewhere in the show, Adams touched on the Wimpel R-37, a Russian hypersonic air-to-air missile with a very long range. According to Adams, it is now shooting down several Ukrainian fighters and helicopters. Reports said the Russians shot down 12 fixed-wing aircraft and several helicopters within a week. The host also mentioned the Lockheed Martin's F-35 Lightning II, which is designed from the ground up to prioritize low observability, and it's said to be the stealthiest fighter in operation today, but Russia is ready for it. Russia is known to be very strong in electronic warfare that may interfere with F-35, and with this R-37, this long-range standoff capability air-to-air, it brings into question whether the US can establish air dominance over any theater of war in which Russia is operating, Adams said. Martyanov doesn't think so, citing how Iran is strongly backing up Hamas. Iran, or Hamas, is one of the only 5 entities in the world which produces all naturally long-range air defense complexes. They are above our air defense complex. They have an enormously sophisticated air defense system, Martyanov said. Adams also touched on the Lancet III, a smart multi-purpose weapon that can be used for reconnaissance, civilians and strike missions. This weapon, produced by the Russian firm Zala Arrow Group, is a game changer in the theater of war, he noted. The Lancet III has taken out some Leopards 2 tanks, but even when not doing that, they are taking out guns, artillery units and so on. The US military seems to be lagging in terms of drone development technology. As an American taxpayer, I'm wondering where founding our military with almost $1 trillion a year, and our weapons are still stuck in 1995. Okay, very interesting. So let's read a little bit, okay, about this last war. Armageddon. Revelation 16 and 16, and he gathered them together in a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. Matthew 24 and 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no ever shall be. Revelation 19 to 21, and I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. Distress of nations, okay, Luke 21 and 25, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon. You have blood moons, you know, and the sun darkened and things like that, you know, happening all the time. You have all these volcanoes, you have all these earthquakes, first and foremost. Okay, and in the stars and upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity in the sea and the waves roaring, okay. Titus 1 and 2, in hope of eternal life, which God that cannot lie promised before the world began. Joel 3 and 12 to 14, you see, let the heathen be weakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about, you see. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for the wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision, man. Okay, really interesting. Okay. Which divided my land. Okay, really this land belongs to the to the 144,000 anyway, okay, who created this earth with Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. But, you know, first and foremost, the real Israelites are scattered in the four corners of the world. Okay, it doesn't mean that there are not some of them real Jews, okay? That there are not some of them are not real Jews, okay? It just says that, you know, the real Israelites are not, okay, the real Israelites are not in their land right now, okay? And it talks about that in Joel 3:2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Okay, so it's all the heathen nations really having their hand in this, right? Okay. Yeah. So with that, all praises to Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem Kadosh Barakatam. Okay, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone.